This is our episode called Meet the Hive with Alex Estrada. We interviewed his partner a couple weeks ago, but now it's his turn and his opportunity to kind of show where he's from. So one of the first questions we always ask is like, what have you done in the past? Like me, I was a truck driver. Were you like, what
Oh man,
in the past? How'd you get into real estate?
I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I've done everything, like everything you can think of. From a young age, I already knew I wanted to like kind of just. Well, honestly, when I was young, I kind of had I couldn't really find my footing anywhere. I was always kind of just exploring, and I kind of just went with my gut feeling, whether and job to job. I was trying to, I was in the railroad industry, I was in the oil field industry. I was knocking at your door selling Kirby vacuums, selling you a very expensive vacuum nobody wanted to buy. Worked in the like a restaurant business. I pretty much did a lot of different things. I was even also an insurance agent as well. I did it for a company called PHP, like a multi-level marketing financial service group. And I kind of just, I stuck around for about 2 years each job, or at least until I just felt like, it was just time to leave. Every time I go into somewhere new, I always try to like get a feel for it, see if this is something I want to do long term. I was just always thinking long term. And then, eventually I just decided like working for somebody else just was not for me. And I gave it opportunity. It's not like I just quit like 30 days later. Like I gave it, a good while before I decided to, this was going to be my best move. And then I realized from right when I knew I was about to, quit and start working for somebody else, I decided, okay, well, you know what? What can I do for myself? What kind of job I create that I would love to do? And then, so here I go doing general contracting. I did general contracting. That's when I kind of got more involved with homes and stuff like that. I did the wood fences. I did roofing for a while. I did just little basic additions, home renovations, a little bit of everything. Um, as you can tell, like I'm a very ambitious person. Like I'm not scared to pretty much try anything. I'm very confident in myself and what I'm capable of doing. And so that's kind of how I just went about doing things. And then, it wasn't really until I got into the general contracting is when I knew I wanted to steer towards real estate, because I just always had a fascination with architectural designs and homes, and just I was just always looking at homes so much, and just being able to work on some really nice homes in the Dominion area. I worked on some really nice like contemporary homes. I just knew that I was just maybe doing the whole renovations thing wasn't really what I like to do, but I knew it was in regards to just being associated with these homes. Then and it was pretty funny too, because um, over time I've just thought about real estate in the back of my mind, but I was just honestly intimidated to try it. It's just a whole different industry for me. Um, and so I would procrastinate it for a little bit until I really hated doing general contracting. That I was like, you know what, let me just get into let me get my license to be a realtor. And while I was being a general contractor, I kind of started focusing my attention towards getting my real estate license. And upon getting my real estate license, I discovered wholesaling. And I was like, why? You don't have to put nothing in the deal? And how much do you make? And what can you do with these contracts? And it just kind of sounded too good to be true, to be honest with you. Like it really sounded like it was illegal. I think everybody who first thinks about it, they always think it was it's illegal at some point.
Oh, are you an agent right now, or you never went that route at all?
No, I stopped what I was doing. I kind of just weighed my options. I'm like, well, I was very familiar with, I had a lot of friends who were in real estate, who were realtors, not more on the investing side, but more realtors. And I always heard stories about how much people try to use their license against them, how regulated it is, and what they have to abide by, and all this stuff. And I just hate being told what to do. So I was like, oh, let me just go this route. Because to me, I just always felt the reason why I didn't like to be under anybody in general. So I knew I would have to be under a broker, was because I didn't like to be determined or limited to what I can make. I didn't like anybody telling me how much I was worth, how much money I can make on certain deals, how much I was worth per hour. And I hated that because to me, I'm just worth $1 million every hour. Like that's if I had to choose my pay, it'd be $1 million per hour. That's just the value that I see myself as. So I just completely just abandoned ship on the whole real estate stuff. And it was a really good call for me. I did struggle a while at first, to be honest with you, because there's all these gurus, people wanting to get paid just to help me out. I'm like, dude, just help me out, man. Like, why do I got to pay you? But I understand now, But
How long did it take you to get your first deal when you first started real estate?
at least 6 months. But it wasn't the only reason why it was 6 months. It was because about 4 of those months I did it by myself. It wasn't until I started really self-educating myself and started learning. I understood the whole to have a mentor, what it means to have a mentor, and I didn't have anybody to go to, and I was trying to find a mentor, or I decided, you know what, why don't I just get with the company that does it, so that way I can learn it. I get paid to do it, and I learn it. And then I can learn the whole system, figure out how to just implement my own, system and then run with it. And so for the first four months, I did bandit signs. I didn't really understand how much I had to do until I actually joined the company because I was doing very little. And I thought I was doing a lot. I would place like 6, 8 bandit signs around the neighborhood, and I would call, 100 people on a list. But now we're doing like 10,000 leads, over 10,000 leads a month just to grab a few deals, So can you imagine on the scale, the low end scale that I was at, doing it for myself? And that's where I wasted a lot of time, but I learned a lot too. I appreciate it. When I first got my first deal, when I joined Hilco Homes, I was very appreciative. I valued that deal so much, even though it was like $600. I made $600 on my first one.
So
Uh,
Alex, can you talk a little bit about the transition? So you jump from a real estate agent into wholesaling. You see that you can make bigger fees. There's a lot more opportunity for you there. And you struggle at first when you get into it. And can you talk a little bit about trying to find a mentor to speed up the process? You said you jumped in with a company to kind of speed the learning curve up. Can you give us a kind of a time frame of how long you kind of struggled on your own before you found the mentor or found the company to kind of jump into, and what that looked like?
Yes. So I do want to add this. I think a reason why a lot of people don't want to find a mentor or just want to do it on themselves. I commend people for that, but you're hurting yourself. I realized that there was a big ego that I had, and once I put that to the side, I like went faster in a short period of time versus me doing it by myself. So I just want to say that if anybody has an ego or they feel like they can just do it by themselves, that's all nice and stuff. But you find a mentor, join a company that is doing what you want to do, and learn it from them, because at least you get paid for it, and it's not a total waste of time. You go way further with working with the team than by yourself, right? So from the time I decided to join a company, it was about 4 months into real estate that I went full time. I kind of live with the burn the boats to take the island type of. I have that type of mentality, so I just jump into it. And sometimes it's not the best thing to do. I definitely also recommend somebody transitioning into it from a full-time job to go to part-time until you're making the money that you're able to replace your full months of income, your bills and your expenses. But I about 4 months in, and then I joined Hilco Homes, and then I made like 2,000-3,000 calls. We didn't have a dialer, so I made 2,000-3,000 calls my first month. I was just on it. I try to just always. I'm very competitive, so I naturally try to be the best in the company. And I did. I think about 30-45 days, I got my first deal. And it was so worth it. It was a very small fee because of my percentage, but I was very happy because I was eating cans of beans at that point. And my team at the time could probably be a witness to that, you know.
Proof of
So,
concept at that point, huh?
huh?
Proof of concept at that point.
Yes, yes. I had it, you know, I have kids, so I didn't have a choice to like give up. You know, I can't look at my kids and say, you know, like daddy didn't try hard enough. You know, I just had to put myself in a position to make it work. A lot of people, you know, I learned that after the first 30, 45 days going full time into something, your motivation goes down for it, and you start doubting yourself a lot, doubting what you're doing. And I think that's the most important period of time that you're starting something new full time, to really hit it harder, do more, you know, because that's really going to define you and where you're going to go with that opportunity. And when I got around there, I was already like on the verge of like, I almost gave up. I'm not gonna lie, I almost gave up. I'm like, maybe this is not for me. You know, those thoughts start setting in, you know, and so I was like, nope. Like every time I convinced myself I was about to quit, you know, have a thought like, look at your kids. Are you going to tell them you quit because you know you didn't give it an opportunity? You gave it 4 months by yourself. You better give this another 4 months. You know, and so you know, when people are trying to tell me, oh yeah, I'm doing it by myself and blah blah blah, I'm not getting anywhere. I always recommend finding a mentor, somebody that is willing to hire you on and teach you at the same time. And people got to understand, like, you got to pay your dues. Like if you want success, you got to have a lot of sacrifice behind it. You know, it's just what it is. You know.
So, Alex, what do you think were the first couple of things you did once you got in with a mentor and worked with a company? Things you saw they were doing that maybe you didn't think of when you were trying to do it on your own?
Oh, pulling a list, understanding how to, you know, negotiate with the buyers, understanding what the buyers want, because you're in a team full of experienced people, and you might be making all these assumptions by yourself. So when I transitioned to Hilco Homes and I got a buyer for a deal, I learned so much about, you know, what the all-in percentage they want to be at, what type of homes and neighborhoods and how they determine their deals a lot more thoroughly. And it was just really just like the everything, you know, it was a lot of basic knowledge that I thought or I assumed I knew, you know, but it, how do I explain it? It's like, it's like we make a lot of assumptions going into something because we think we know the best, but you know, until you get around experienced people, you really have no idea what you're truly missing, you know. And so it was the buyers and the dispositioning deals for me, and also what to look at more when you're looking at properties and how to find these leads. There was a lot of lead generation that I learned as well that really helped me out, because I thought abandoned signs was like a really, you know, strong concept, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't.
It's one concept, right?
That's
You
one
know,
concept.
within many.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know that, you know. And so when I jumped on, I learned about all these tax delinquents, inheritance, you know, child support liens. I didn't know there was child support liens on properties. I didn't know that, but you know, that's a whole list right there of people you can pull. Um, you know, it's just, you know, just basic things like that, you know. It's
So
really, you don't know until you're around experienced people is when you're going to learn the most, you know.
So how long you been in real estate? And I know you recently just got licensed as well to be a general contractor to build homes.
Yes, yes. So even though I had yeah, so I hated working on other people's homes, but I felt, you know what, building new homes for from me, it's different. You know, it's more prideful for me. It's more valuable of a project for me because I'm the one building the home. You know, it's not something where it's not already pre-owned. It's not mine. You know, there's a whole different, a lot of more factors playing into why I went back in that route versus what I was doing before. But I was in it. I did it full time for about 3.5, going on to 4 years now. And it's honestly jumping into real estate was really the best thing that's ever really happened to me in my life. To be honest with you, I was very scared I was never going to find something that I was truly good at and something that I truly loved until I stopped procrastinating and I just jumped shipped,
Alex, how do you source your deals? Do you work with agents? Do you find everything off market? Do you buy from the MLS? Like, what is your sourcing for land to start building your homes on?
So it's looking to do builds on. Well, I do both. Like I also do wholesaling on the lands as well. Now, as far as find wholesaling them, I work with a lot of JV. I JV a lot of deals. I'm very well known in, well, I wouldn't say well known, but I'm known in the community. We have really good business practices. We're very transparent. We always try to make everybody work on the deal together. And I perform. I move with a sense of urgency, and that's what a lot of people like. They don't like people. If you want somebody to send you their deals, don't procrastinate or wait around just to respond to them like days later. Like that's, to me, that's just rude. Somebody's coming to you for help, you should pay attention to it and help them out and just get it out the way. Just, help them out. But so I have a lot of people who send me deals, but I generally am looking to wholesale more than to buy my own, because I'm only limited to buying so many. I can't buy everybody's deal. So I try to wholesale it out first. I kind of take that approach with it. But I actually also have learned how to pull free leads from MLS without looking at the retail stuff that has been sold, or stuff that is on market. I don't look at those type of leads from MLS. There's actually, if you're using Sabor, and realtors will know this, on the bottom right hand corner of MLS, there's what's called a courthouse retrieval system. Now you click on that and you go into the prospecting section. Once you see it, you could actually pick and pull a list of over 5,000 free leads based off of basic like 3 1s, 3 2s. You can even find cash buyers through there for free. You can do them by zip codes. You can exclude flood zones. You can like be very specific in what you're looking for. And I don't see anybody talking about this stuff. Our expenses, are what we have to pay in expenses every month for the business versus what we bring in. It's a way big difference compared to what everybody else is doing. I'm sure some people are spending 10,000, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 a month in expenses. Ours is way less, way less, and we're close to, we're doing close to 6 figures a month. So and honestly, we're like that just because we're just very cheap. We're very cheap business owners. We don't buy into a bunch of stuff that people would like generally use. We're very basic. We just do a lot of the basic stuff, and because of it, our expenses every month it's not an issue. And we can last for at least like 8, 10, 12 months without being hurt. So I definitely encourage people to look for free leads. Definitely a lot of free leads out there. MLS is one of them. I got a lot of good big deals. Like there's one in the West Side. I got that at 19K and an assignment fee, and that one came from the free leads, and just also using text messaging campaign that helped out a lot too.
What type of free lead specifically was that?
Well, like it's really nothing like. Well, so this is like a gray area. This is what I tell people when you're pulling free leads from MLS in the courthouse retrieval system. It's not really a motivated list. However, it's more of a specific list that you would look for. Like, so for an example, if you want to pull all the 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses in the West Side, you can pull those specifically. I kind of am thinking sort of outside of the box because everybody's calling the same motivated list. So how good of a list is it, even though it's highly motivating, because everybody's calling those same numbers. So you're not going to get a lot of results just because people assume or logically think, well, people who owe high taxes, they pulled that list just like everybody else does. Well, it has to be motivating because, there's people that are in debt. Yeah, but how many people are calling that same list, And this specifically,
competition.
Yeah, there's so many competition, and I try to kind of get us out of that. And I've gotten a lot of deals where people are not being called on their properties, because I've asked them, I was like, do you get a lot of calls? Like I kind of question some of the sellers to figure out what type of list or if anybody else is calling the same lead as I'm calling, because I'm trying to compare how good the list is. And honestly, those free leads, I don't get a lot of people. Some people will, and I think this is a seller's market. So I think that's why a lot of people have to move fast with these highly motivated lists like tax delinquents and pre-foreclosures, right? But with the leads that I seem to pull, there's not a lot of people calling those people, because I get the in-between people that are not on tax delinquents, the people that are not popping up on the main list that everybody's pulling. I get the list, like those quiet people that are barely being called. It seems like it's kind of weird. Like, that's why I tell people it's a gray area, but it's outside of the box. It's working for me, and I'm going to continue to do it. I haven't bought in any other list in a very long time, which helps me pull more leads. It helps on our marketing and our lead generation, because now I can afford to get more leads, skip trace, without having to buy the list as well. I save money by pulling the free leads and can go towards more doing the skip tracing.
Yeah. So let's talk about partnership, man. I think you're one of the I love Mike, and you have like a yin and yang thing that a lot of partnerships have. Let's kind of jump down to your partnership. How'd you find Mike? And what were you looking for in a partner that Mike fills?
I kind of like try to, over the course of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, I always kind of had like a partner or somebody that I was trying to like team up with. And early on, I kind of just started looking at red flags and quickly dismissing people that I didn't want to work with. So the time I found and I met Mike, I already knew, some of the stuff that I was looking for, he already had it. It's just, honestly, I pay attention to my mistakes, and I just try to be very observant about who I want to work with. And so when I met Mike, I just knew me and him were just aligned with, wanting to build a big business, wanting to have, ethical, like good business principles, like, transparency, just wanting to build good relationships with people. There's just a lot of stuff in him that I saw in me. And the more we talked about stuff, our goals just aligned with each other. I don't know, like it's one thing to I get a lot of people that want to partner up with me and stuff like that, but I always try to quickly not jump in with anybody. I always kind of just give them tasks or say things to see if they like, they're a lot of walking, instead of a lot of talking, like I'm not trying to curse, but I'm not trying to deal with bullshitters, so I say things like, every time Mike has an idea, I say, okay, well, you lead with it. I got you, I'll back you up. And I start seeing what Mike does immediately is he starts doing his due diligence. He starts putting statistics together, starts showing me the research behind it. He's showing me the credibility that he has about how serious he is with something. And the more he goes with it, the more I'm right there next to him. I go with it as much as they do it. So like for when we had the ATM business, it was pretty much the same thing with me. He was telling me, when I approached him with this idea, he's like, all right, let's take lead. I said, all right, I got you. So I started doing my due diligence. I started doing my research. And then he just matched my hustle. And before you knew it, 1 month later, we had 2 ATMs,
Alert
2
from low
locations.
battery.
And, we just kind of just feed off of each other like that. Usually whoever has the idea, that person is already like known in between us that person needs to run with it, and the other person will follow. And the fact that he just always takes action on what he says he's going to do is what I look for in a partner, because everybody has good ideas, but how many people actually come through, with doing what they said they're going to do, right? Not a lot of people. And so I quickly noticed that Mike was one of those people that took action. And that's one of the main things that I really look for in somebody that moves their butt, I met Mike at Hilco. And just honestly, right away, we just connected. But to be honest with you as well, one of the things that like I value him for is how honest he is with me. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to plug this in. Yeah, so so I met Mike at the Hilco Homes Company, and right away we just it was just like bro mate at first sight. You know, we just connected. It's funny too because me and Mike have completely different backgrounds, like completely. Like he's a Brown University, he's an Ivy League student. I came from the east side of San Antonio. You know, I wasn't. All I have is a high school diploma. He has all this stuff, certifications, and all this stuff, and he just came from a whole different background for me. But the way we kind of just click with each other, you know, I'm more like the vision, and he's more like the architect. I tell him the ideas, we come up with the ideas, and he puts a system into play, and we just run with it. You know, but what I do look for in a partner, most of all, is just trust. Trust goes a long way, and honesty with me, to be honest with you. And a lot of people just are not trustworthy. So to find somebody who can stay loyal when I'm not looking or when I'm not around goes very far with me. There's times where people want me to like join their company or go with them and leave Mike in the dust, and I always say no because Mike wouldn't do that to me, you know. And so we just have a very strong trust, and we build like a really good friendship. You know, so it's
That's huge. And on top of the systems that you were talking, can you expand on that a little bit more? Kind of maybe give the listeners and viewers a top line view of exactly, how do you bring in revenue? Is it strictly from wholesaling? Do you do hotel stuff? Do you take it down and resell it? Give everyone a kind of an idea of exactly how your business runs, where you bring your money in, and what your team looks like.
okay. So right now, the fact that we're moving into a new business right now, we downsized our team. I have one guy who's pretty much been with us the whole time. His name is Jorge. So it's me, Jorge, and Mike. Me and Jorge, I focus on acquisitions. He focuses on dispositions. And we have a transaction coordinator. Her name is Donna. She's from the Philippines, and she handles anything with contracts, amendments, and title. That's what she all handles. And Mike focuses on admin stuff like accounting, the systems, and working on the new business that we're starting. So it's just a three-man team, but we all work our ass off. We come into the office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we just communicate, work together. Several systems that we have that we use is one, HiveMind, of course, big help. I love HiveMind. Just the fact that you have, I've created so many triggers and automations, like it's pretty much running by itself. I love it. And it definitely filters out all the non-serious sellers that we work with. So that's what I really like about it. We have HiveMind, we have Podio, and we have Call Tools. Call Tools, we have another VA that does Call Tools for us. But we hired out for that specific VA through a woman called Andrea Stick. She trains VAs for cold calling. So we hired her to help us bring a serious VA to cold call. So I mean, I guess all the way around, I guess there's what, 5 of us technically, but really, in the team, it's just really Donna, me, Mike, and Jorge. Our main thing that we really look for is land. We try to stick to land because land is quick to sell, very quick. They're not making any more of it. Land is getting very popular. Everybody's shooting for the same single family residentials and stuff like that, and that's what everybody's talking. That's what we're staying away from. Though we won't say no to a JV deal because we do have buyers for those. So we don't really ever rule it out, but it's not our focus. We focus on land deals, acreage, because they're just getting popular. Texas is a really good market, and people are moving here from all states. So land is needed to build more and to grow, but also land, there's a lot less issues. I can have somebody look at I don't need to really buy. Technically with land, you don't need it's not what a single family residential like. For me, if I was to sell a single family residential, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I wouldn't need my buyer to go inside and look at it. That's one of my requirements, because once I get that non-refundable, I don't give it back. I don't care. You give it to me, that's it. That means you did your due diligence, you accepted my purchase price, and you're not turning back. So, but with land, I mean, I have the same, rules with land, but it's easier for them to stick to the decision of buying it versus somebody who buys something sight unseen, and then when they actually go walk it, like, oh no, it's too much rehab, I can't look at it. It's just a lot easier to analyze with the land than it is for single family homes. And I can pretty much get a yes from a buyer faster than I can with a single family residential, because I mean, with single with land, you can go drive up to it and you can see the whole land, unless it's brush or something. But like lots, if it's clear or whatever, you can easily see what you're getting. With single family homes or anything multifamily, you have to get walkthroughs. You have to deal with tenants. You deal with squatters. It's a whole bunch of other factors that come to play. And that one that's really hurting us. And in a market that is very competitive right now, I don't got time to wait around for anybody. So I deal with land. And the more specific I have been with land, and dealing with more of that as my focus, the more my company has grown. So just
What do you
life.
feel has been your best dispo methods to sell your deals? Do you have like a massive cash buyers list? Do you
Yes, we
put
do.
it on the MLS and use your license for that? How do you get top dollar for your deals?
To be honest with you, one of the most underrated things that people really don't realize is building relationships. I build relationships. I respond accordingly. I'm very responsive. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, the reason why they're always having to find new buyers is because the same buyers don't want to do business with them in some form or fashion, because they after they bought the home, it ended up being a bigger mess than what was said to them. Like, people don't value relationships, and we don't do anything special. We don't list on MLS unless we're doing a fix or flip or something ourselves. Well, we don't really pitch it out on social media. We don't really do a bunch of text campaigning for buyers. What we do is just build relationships with the few circle of buyers, and we just cater to their criteria. And it's been a lot easier because we probably have like 10 buyers that we stick to be honest with you. And I get yeses from them very fast. I get them to go out there quickly as possible, because I'm not, to me, I think in volume, I don't always try to get, I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody tries to get the most for their property on their assignment fee, but I'm not greedy with mine. If a buyer can go look at it the same day, if it's 4:00 p.m. and somebody can be out there by 6 p.m. and they can give it to me, I can get it at full price with them, or just like 2-3K less, and they're ready to give me the 3K immediately, I give it to them. I
Speed of
don't,
money.
huh?
Speed of money.
Yes, like to me, buyers, I don't just choose somebody just because they can come through. Like I look at the type of business relationship they like to have with me. I look at buyers that are very responsive, and that can give me a yes or no answer really quickly and always perform. And I cater to their criterias. That's what I look for. And I notice, when people are not very specific in what they're doing or what their focus is, and they're kind of just everywhere, dealing with multifamily, single family, land deals, and kind of just not just, they're more of a broad spectrum of a focus. I feel like you're doing a lot more than you need to. I kind of just narrowed down the type of deals I look for, and I stick to the type of deals that I would like to look for based off of my buyer's criteria, and my top buyers at that. And I always seem to find them because I put the focus into it. It goes a long way.
That's huge.
Yeah, it really is. I do my best to keep relationships really good. If I know that my buyer needs something, a survey or something like that, I mean, I always compromise. I think negotiations is never just a one-side win. It's a win-win, and that goes a long way with people. I don't like to BS my buyers or my sellers.
I think those are all huge points. And Alex, one of the things when I talk to newer investors, and Daniel, I'm sure you've heard this too, is people think they have to have this massive buyers list of like 100 people, 200 people, send out these big, huge email blasts. You really don't, honestly, there's a couple areas I work where I have like 2 or 3 buyers. And if it goes past them, I can find some others, but they gobble up most of my deals I have. And it sounds like that you're in the same boat, where you have, 5 to 10 really good buyers, and you probably know exactly what they're looking for. And before you even get it under contract, you know who wants it. And when you do that, that gives you a lot more flexibility to kind of pick and choose what you want, knowing kind of who is already going to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's certain buyers that I move very fast for, and before I even get anything on contract, I honestly already know who's going to buy it, because I cater so much to them and what they are looking for. I know, no flood zones. I know some buyers buy in flood zones, but my buyers don't like flood zones. I know specific lot dimensions that they're looking for. Some of my repeat buyers don't are more lenient than others. So I always look at my lenient buyers first if it's special occasions. But it's just because you buy and you perform doesn't mean that you're a good buyer. There's a lot of factors that go into being a really good buyer. It's not just the fact that you can perform. I have everybody tries to sell me and a lot of people or new investors like, oh man, like I'll buy all this much a month. Oh, like I can close in 7 to 10 business days. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. But to me, I don't look at what people say. I look at what people do to me. And when people can move fast for me and give me quick decisions, because that's kind of what I like to be known for. I like to be known as somebody who moves fast. That's why Justice Cash buyers, Jenny, Wendy and Jenny, they come to me a lot. I got just the same wholesalers come to me because I move really fast. And I like to have buyers that do that, because I can't move fast if they don't move fast. So I look at the buyers that move fast and I try to cater to more of them, because that goes a long way. And you gotta move fast in wholesaling. People deals get taken really quickly. But yeah, I think a lot of people, when people tell me, oh yeah, I have I don't have a lot of buyers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you have plenty of buyers. You're just not building relationships with the ones you have. I try to go take people out to lunch for my appreciation. I'll send cards, like the little things. People really appreciate stuff like that. One of the things that I appreciated, Justice Cash Buyers with Aaron Bevins, his disposition guy, Brian Vargas, we work with him a lot. And one of the things they called, I had to call them about a deal that we're already working on, but another deal we closed. What they're implementing now is they're calling their buyers and seeing, what they loved about working with them, and then also what can they work on, or what didn't they not like stuff like that. Catering to customer service and being the best you can for the seller and the buyer, that goes a very long way. And I think some people have a lot of ego that they can't put, they can't either take accountability or just say, what, this is my fault, and I think ego really hurts people, and that's why they always have to find new buyers. So I laugh at people when they tell me like, oh, well, I got to find new buyers, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, why don't you just focus on having good relationships with the one you have? You wouldn't have to be doing that. Your business will grow a lot.
It makes a big difference, and it sounds like your business has grown quite a bit here in the last year or so. Okay, can you give us an idea of kind of what your numbers look like? Like how many deals are you closing a month? Revenue, profits, whatever you're comfortable sharing. People love to hear that. Average deal size, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, no problem. We always cater to. We always try to shoot for double. Like we always try to make more than 10K on every assignment fee, but our assignment fees are averaging out 15, 20K off of every deal. For a 3-man crew, we're averaging about 14 deals a month as of right now, and that's really only 2 of us really doing it. I mean, I'm not going to discount my partner Mike, but he's working on bigger deals. Where I have him working on not just administrative stuff, but he's working on tackling the big family, multi-million dollar deals. I told him, I'm like, dude, if you could just bring in one where we're just making like a few $100,000, that's all I need you to do. Let us do the little deals. Let us worry about this stuff. Just focus on the multi-family deals. Just bring in one. I'm happy, right? But we are averaging, about 70, 80K a month. We're bringing in about 14 deals. We're averaging about 15K in assignment fees, 12 to 15K, I would say. Our expenses are less than 4,000, I believe, and I'm just being conservative. And so we're doing really good. We're doing about 10, 15,000 leads a month, but we recycle the hell out of all of those leads. Like I will recycle them. I'll go through them like seven times minimum before I let them go, because I just refuse to let deals fall through the crack. But a lot of these deals that we're getting are just coming back to us because of the consistent follow-ups. I try to tell people, you don't need to buy the best system in the world. You just need to take a lot of action and be organized and be systematic about what you're doing, and trust in your own process. People are just so impatient and don't think long-term. And so what we're trying to focus on is scaling healthy, not scaling fast. Scaling fast. And so I think that really goes a long way. People are trying to like profit. I know some people that are spending, 15,000, and they're barely closing like 2-3 deals a month, and so that eats away, so we try to keep our expenses low and our profits high. And our growth high. So that's kind of what we're doing so far, monthly.
So what is a quote that you resonate with, whether it's yours or somebody else's?
A quote? I have a lot. I think one is progress over perfection. Everybody focuses on trying to be perfect at what they're doing. One of the things I learned was, I had to relax about some stuff. I was getting a little OCD, a little too bossy about things, and nitpicking about stuff. And I learned just to let your people do what they got to do and delegate the rest, and trust in the process. If you created a good system, it should take care of itself, and I think also the fact that a lot of people are just trying to be really perfect at trying to do something that it actually hurts them. So I always, I guess if I had to choose a quote, progress over perfection, scale healthy, scale slow if you have to. There's no rush to this. I tell people half the people that are doing wholesaling are not even going to be here next year. It's people weed themselves out, and people focus too much on trying to be greedy about every deal and trying to get rich off of one deal, and there's plenty to go around.
There's more deals. I tell people all the time, there's more deals. If you get stuck on one, there's always more to come. Infinite opportunity.
Yeah, man, we're in a really good market, man. Texas is really good. I think there's plenty of homes for everybody. So.
What book can you recommend to new people as far as with mindset?
As far as what?
With mindset.
With the mindset?
Yeah.
As far as mindset, I would definitely Think Big. Think Big is a good book, but I also mindset is just a small portion of what needs to be done, and I think people should focus on systems and creating a good business. If they want a long-term business, they should read the book called Traction. Traction is a really good book. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Traction, but Traction is pretty much like how to grow a business a healthy way. It actually breaks down how to build a business systematically by proven concepts by people who are like the most successful people in the country. And that book has like really got me to reorganize and rethink about a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And it's taken us a long way. We actually live by a lot of stuff. It teaches you how to hire, how to let go of people, how to have core value, core focus, how to have a good culture, how to, where to put your money at, what you need to be focusing on, and how to have a business run itself and grow without you being involved as little as possible. So I think that's a really good book.
And what about the growth you've had right now? Where do you see yourself in another year, 2 years? What do the goals look like for you and Mike and the company?
To be honest with you, I kind of think I mean, I could tell you before the new business that we just wanted to grow a big team. We kind of wanted to restructure the business where it's like a multi-level business. But we kind of are taking our attention towards our new development business, and we want by the beginning of our third year in the new business, we want to be doing subdivisions already, new building subdivisions, neighborhoods, communities. One of the big things that we're focused on is fighting the affordable housing crisis right now with the new concept and that we're doing. I can't really disclose what the concept is, out of respect for my partner and what he wants me not to say. But it's going to definitely be the first. We're going to do something big here in San Antonio. I can't really say much about it, to be honest.
That's fine.
But, yeah, it's really big. It's going to be really big. We're really excited about it. But due to.
So where can people find you online? Where can people send deals? All that good stuff.
Yes, send us land deals. We are looking for land deals that are in San Antonio and surrounding cities. We want single family lots. They need to be platted already, no flood zone. Utilities, without utilities is a bonus, and we're a badass. I appreciate that. Definitely grab those at a higher price. We're not looking to pay retail for these lots. Okay, we don't need retail. I don't care where the market is going. I look at where the market's at now. Okay, that's what I'm not a psychic. I don't predict the future. Yeah, but please go ahead and send us deals like that. We're also looking for lot dimensions with at least 50 by 75 feet, 50 wide by 75 feet in depth. And if there's own multifamily, we're okay with that too. Well, where we're shooting for those as well. But send those deals to Blue Hedgehog LLC at gmail.com, or you can reach out to me at 210-717-7458. Call or text. I'm very responsive. As I try to be. I'm a full-time daddy, so y'all gotta give me some time.
Yeah, we hear you here on that one. We appreciate your time. I appreciate my co-host Matt Rogers. Any final thoughts you want to say towards the people?
Be a business of principle. There's too many people out there doing bad, shady business. There's enough homes to go around. There's enough money for everybody. Think long-term, think in volume of deals. Think about what's best for the seller and what's best for the for your business. And don't get attached to the money, because if you get attached to the money, it'll be a very big emotional roller coaster for you, and you can eliminate that emotional roller coaster by not being emotionally attached to the money and think it's the end of the world. Okay.
There you go. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Alex, for coming on. We appreciate you coming on, and we hope you get a lot of value from this. Please check us out.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Matt.